to iScope Media. Today we are talking about the Russia-Ukraine conflict that has raged. Explosion and flames dotted Kyiv on Tuesday as Russian forces continued their relentless onslaught and drew ever closer to the heart of Ukrainian capital, that is Kyiv. As the Russia-Ukraine conflict raged on for the 20th day straight, President Zelenskyy hinted at a compromise that soon could be brought about, a cessation of hostilities. Russian and Ukrainian negotiators met virtually for a second day of talks, with ceasefire and evacuation efforts on the top of the agenda. Meanwhile, the leaders of the three European Union countries planned a bold visit to besiege Kyiv despite security risks. Now, the cities are under siege. Russia stepped up its bombardment of Kyiv on Tuesday, smashing apartments and a subway station that killed dozens of people, according to the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy. Artillery strikes hit the district of Western Kyiv, adjacent to the suburb of Irpin. The shelling ignited a huge fire in a 15-story apartment building and killed one person. Major Vitaly Klitschko announced a 35-hour curfew extending through Thursday morning. Well, elsewhere, Ukraine reported more airstrikes on an airport in the west, heavy shelling on the Chernihiv northwest of the Kyiv, and attacks on the southern town of the Mykolaiv. In the country's east, Russian forces launched more than 60 strikes overnight on Ukraine's second largest city, that is Kharkiv. Now, there are bold show of support. Three European heads of the state were on their way to Ukraine by train on Tuesday for the first visit of its kind since the war began. The Prime Minister of Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovenia on heading to the Kyiv, where Russian forces have mounted a relentless onslaught in a show of solidarity of the entire European Union for the sovereignty and independence of Ukraine. Now, here we talk about another major thing which we are pointing out at is Zelenskyy hinting at a compromise. In the latest hint at compromise, President Vladimir Zelenskyy said today that Ukraine was prepared to accept security guarantees that stopped short of its long-term objective of joining the NATO. Russia is vehemently opposed to Kyiv's pursuit of membership to the Western-led alliance. If we cannot enter through open doors, then we must cooperate with the associations with which we can, which will help us, protect us, and have separate guarantees, said Zelenskyy. Now, there are also diplomatic dialogues which are resuming again. Peace talks between Russia and Ukrainian delegations resumed for the second day after a technical pause to clarify terms on Monday. Ukrainian officials are playing up to the hope that the war could end sooner than expected, saying Moscow may be coming to terms with its failure to impose a new government on Kyiv by force. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told few of the sources that it was too early to predict the process. The work is difficult, and in the current situation, the very fact that are continuing is probably positive, he said. Now, there are also human tolls which are mounting. The number of Ukrainians fleeing the war approached 3 million on Tuesday, according to the data from the UN Refugee Agency that has shown. Half of that figure, that is 1.5 million people, represents children forced to flee the conflict, said UNICEF spokesperson James Elder. Well, this translates to one child becoming a refugee with every passing minute of the Russia-Ukraine war. So far, 691 civilians, including 48 children, have been killed since the invasion began 20 days ago, the UN human rights officer has said. Well, true civilians' casualty figures are believed to be considerably high due to the delay in reports from the areas with intense hostilities. Now, the Russia has also retaliated to the US. Moscow said that the US President Joe Biden, Secretary of the State Antony Blinken, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, and other top Biden administration officials have been put on the Russia sanctions list. In the statement issued on Tuesday, Russia's foreign ministry said that the measure is a response to the US sanctions against the Russian leadership. Well, these were all about the main points that we are focusing upon, the main topic, which is the Russia-Ukraine conflict that has raged again. So these were the major points that we can have a look upon. Stay with us. We'll bring you more important topics to talk upon. This is Aparna Sundar reporting for iScope Media.